Here is a beautiful frame of Paleo and early archaic river-polished, river-stained spearpoints from the Central Great Plains. Many of these are published pieces, and all of them are Greg Perino papered. One of my collecting passions when it comes to Paleo and early archaic spearpoints are those that are river polished. Dan Fox was so kind to invite me back to Manhattan, Kansas on a couple of occasions, where he took me out on the gravel bars of the Kansas River. My friend Lyle Nickel joined us for one of those expeditions, and we were able to walk the gravel bars of the Kansas River and pick up knives and spear points right on top of the gravel bars, as though somebody had gone ahead of us and just left them laying there. Now, these are very wonderful spear points that are less common than your average knife or spear point or arrowhead that would be found on a gravel bar. These are special ones that don't come along all that often. Let's start with this one here. This is a very nice river polished point that I actually acquired from Dan Fox. And part of the deal was for me to make a casting of this, which I did. And I sent him a casting, or a couple of castings, so that he'd have for his library. This is called the Vaughn Clovis because it was found by Dan's friend Vaughn. And it's a beautifully fluted point. Greg Perino has it papered as a wonderful Clovis point. And it's got some beautiful, beautiful flaking. And I love the river polish. Here's a jasper Clovis. This is a jasper Clovis point, river polish, that came off the gravel bars as well. I think this one came from the Arkansas River in Oklahoma. And it's a beautiful jasper, river polished jasper, and it's nicely fluted on both sides. A nice little Clovis point, colorful. Here is a wonderful Jimmy Allen spear point. This is a large Jimmy Allen. Jimmy Allen points are known for their ribbon flaking. If I can get this at the right angle here. The flaking on these is quite good. It's kind of a parallel oblique type flaking and kind of a ribbon flaking on these. And they have the auriculate base, early archaic specimens, probably dating around 9,000, 8,000, 9,000 BP. But just beautiful. I love Jimmy Allen points, so well made. And this is a very nice one here. Here we have a Florence chert piece, and in Kansas, Florence chert is very common. And this is a Clovis that's been resharpened down quite a bit. As you can see, this was at least an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches longer at one time. But it's been sharpened down to pretty much a nub and then discarded. And this was found on the gravel bars of the Kansas River. Beautifully fluted Clovis point from Manhattan, Kansas. This is a beauty right here. Now, many of you would call that an Eden point. It's kind of got a diamond shape cross-section. Beautifully flaked. And this is a lake find in Oklahoma. And this, again, most people would probably call that an Eden point. Greg Perino papered it as a first view. So we have a first view point here, which is a paleo type point, probably 8,000 to 10,000 years old or somewhere in through there. And this is a very, very, very nice example of a river polished or lake polished first view. Here we have another river find, and this is a stemmed lancelet. And wow, what a beautiful stemmed lancelet this is. This is very, very well made. I acquired this from Dan Fox. It's pictured, many of these points are pictured in his book, Points of the Great Plains. But that's a nice one there. Here we have a beautiful, very thin plain view point. This came from Lyle Nickel, and this came from Oklahoma. Again, the Arkansas River, no doubt. Very thin, well flaked, plain view point. Here we have a beautiful, it's not the biggest Scots bluff you'll ever see, but it's probably one of the most delicate. It's absolutely beautifully flaked. It's very thin and just absolutely great workmanship. I acquired this from Bernie Carr in Goleta, California. And again, not the biggest Scots bluff, but one of the finest I've ever seen, river polished, again from Oklahoma. Here we have a very large Meserve point. Meserve point is a type of Dalton. Greg Perino papered this as a Meserve point, and this is river polish made out of Florence chert from Kansas, found on the Kansas River. And that would be about an 8,000 to 9,000 year old point. Here we have a very large Jimmy Allen knife. Wow. This is a very nice, large Allen knife. Probably 8,000 to 10,000 years old, right in through there, I'm guessing. Well flaked, beautifully flaked, by the way. Very large piece. And then we have a very large river-stained Burlington from Illinois, agate basin. Beautiful agate basin out of river-stained Burlington. Very nice. Very nice point. This is probably one of the jewels that Lyle Nickel sold to me some years ago. And Lyle has the first opportunity to acquire this point. When I get to selling these, I'm certainly going to give Lyle first crack at this. This is a Pike County, river polish Pike County, from Osage County, Oklahoma, a river polish, river find, and just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Pike County. Just a real dandy there. Paleo point. Wow. And likely a story stone effigy with the eye of the mammoth there, its trunk coming down and the hair tuft above its head. They oftentimes used points, oftentimes used up points, spent points, and sometimes freshly made points, or any time through their usage pattern, and they modified them slightly and left them as story stone face and mammoth effigy offerings. And then, of course, the faces would be vertically like this, with this the eye of the face and the nose and mouth down below, right down here, the mouth and the nose. So very likely a story stone effigy, but just a beautiful, beautiful Pike County. And that's a frame of some very nice river polish points from the Central Great Plains.